marriage as much as possible without having them looking into who he is and whatnot. Also, more metal. It's rare on this music. Well, mother, I don't wonder at... It's like her, God bless her, but how could Donia... Wait. I don't wonder at it. It is like her, God bless her, but how could Donia, darling? As though I did not know you. Rasmus says define kakistocracy. Kakistocracy. Was that the thing where it's the worst people? Ruling? The worst possible? Yeah. Still a fairly new word for me. Fun word though. Kakistocracy. You were nearly 20 when I saw you last. I understood you then. Mother writes that Donia... Wait, actually... Here. Oh. There we go. Is that big enough, if you want to see? Maybe it should be a little bit bigger. That's fine. Mother writes that Donia can put up with a great deal. I know that very well. I knew that 2.5 years ago. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been thinking about it. Thinking of just that. That Donia can put up with a great deal. If she could put up with Mr. Svidrigailov and all the rest of it, she certainly can put up with a great deal. And now Mother, and she has taken it into their heads that she can put up with Mr. Lushin, who propounds the theory of the superiority of the wives raised from destitution and owing everything to their husband's bounty. Oh! Who propounds it too almost as the first interview. Wait. Blasphemous says define ochlocracy? A political system which a mob is the source of control. Wait, isn't that democracy? Ochlocracy? In which a mob... Oh no, the mob can be... It doesn't have to be the majority, it's just a mob. No, it says government by the masses. I was thinking mob could just be like a mob taking control. But it says government by the masses, and government by the masses is democracy. And I heard that definition. I really liked that definition when I heard it. The definition of democracy. Yeah, it's the tyranny of the masses. I like that. Define subterfuge. Something intended to misrepresent the true nature of an activity. He wasn't sick, it was just subterfuge. What was subterfuge? Oh yeah, the Mr. Lushin. Ah. Subterfuge. There we go. What's the point in the difference between ochlocracy and democracy? Well, I can get behind the mob. Well, it said mob first. Mob rule would be different from yeah, mobocracy. Very different indeed. Blasphemous says, is your bot still on GitLab? I'd like to see how you're doing this. Yeah, of course. It's exclamation point bot for the link. It's just actually, I think I was a bit tired, so it's kind of hacky. The dictionary is kind of hacky when I changed it around. Yeah. That's what says why it refuses to define set. Oh, I told you it's set is more than 500 characters long. The string becomes 900 or something characters long, and Twitch will not accept that. So I just put in a boundary, right? So whenever anything happens now with the bot, any message that becomes longer than, I think I'd put 499, it will refuse to post that. It will instead send that other funny message. That's what it says, but it only shows one definition at a time. Kinda. But try define dance and you'll see it showing 2 definitions at a time. It's because if you do this, if you go dic c -dwn and then you try dance, you see you get noun number 1 and verb number 1. So it will define both noun and verb together because it takes number 1. That's my regular expression, right? I go from the number. That's what you give it, right? When you don't give any number, it takes number 1. If you give number 2, it takes the number 2 definitions. If you take number 3, it takes the number 3 definitions. So it just puts 2 dashes in between the 2. Nodona says, why don't you store the remaining message in a buffer and allow people to use a command to see the next part? I did do that. That was my first setup. But then it took way longer to change it around so you could print a number. But when I get around to it, I will get to storing it to a buffer instead of looking it up every time. But that's what I had yesterday, right? I had def next or next def that would iterate through them, right? Saving the list instead of generating new ones all the time. Are we? Last one said, you got tired, didn't you? Yeah. Right. I spent a lot of time with the cock yesterday. It wore me out. Oh man, best name for a text editor. I did something else. Oh right, yeah. I put all my, well, not all my, but I put my dot files in GitLab as well. So I can use them between my, I have 2 computers that I use actively. So I can just pull that down, put like my YTCC databases in there, for example. Stuff like that. Roostercock says, sorry for wearing you out. Oh no, it was my pleasure. Oh. Blasphemous says, I'm afraid to put my dot files on any site. I didn't just take all the dots files and put them in there. I made a selection of the files that I wanted to, right? For example, my i3 config, for example. I don't see any problem putting that there. Or the YTCC database, I don't see any problem with that either. Or the cock config file. Oh, look at that image again. Blasphemous is r/Unix porn. I have not spent a lot of time. I know that it is a place, but personally, you know, this is what mine looks like, right? I don't rice. That's the word, right? You rice your machine. I don't really do that anymore. I suppose I have done that with the wallpapers. That's what I've done. Blasphemous says, I'm obsessed with consistency. Kappa. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Nodonor says, I put my config up on Unix porn once. It was hot. I can imagine that your config looks great. And yours as well then, Blasphemous. Mine is just fine. Alright. Granted that he let it slip, though he is a sensible man, yet maybe it was not a slip at all, but he meant to make himself clear as soon as possible. But Donia? She understands the man, of course, but she will have to live with the man. Wait, is he not thinking that it's a gold digger? That's very weird. No Donor says, I blew my dot files all over the place. Nice. Basma says, I even pywall my wine apps. Wow. Wow. I mean, I really enjoy that a little bit, but I was building it on wallpapers like this. This is my favorite wallpaper, right? And I need my strong contrasts. Yeah, I need strong contrasts, so it doesn't work out for me. But Pywall was a lot of fun to play around with. Yeah, but I'm like that, and I've actually been spending more time about that. I'm about comfort, and I'm about practicality, and then I can add some icing on top of the cake, some icing on top of the cake, just some pretty stuff. Yeah. Wow. I wall my mouse LEDs. It's Node Runner. Nice. LEDs, I mean, not LEDs. I just put mine to red and that was that. I like red. Why? She'd live on the black bread and water. She would not sell her soul. She would not barter her moral freedom for comfort. I would. I like comfort. Actually, I don't know. Moral freedom? What does that mean? She would not... Well, actually, yeah. If some woman that I enjoyed spending time with said, alright, if you marry me, I will take care of all the things. You will have all the comforts. I'm like, that's a great fucking deal. Right? That would be worth giving up some freedoms for sure. Marriage nowadays isn't giving up freedoms though, I suppose. Blasphemous says, I want some LED lights for my room to Pywall. Oh man, that would be great, wouldn't it? part of me wanted to set up like colored lights and put them in the bot. Like I was just thinking about that. Yeah, just having when you change around the lights. Blasphemous says that would be a good idea. I mean, good is a strong word for it. It would be fun. It would be fun. Yeah. Right. She would not barter for all Schleswig Holstein, much less Mr. Lucian's money. No, Dunya was not that sort when I knew her, and she is still the same, of course. Yes, there is no denying that Svedrigalos are a bitter pill. It's a bitter thing to spend one's life as a governess in the provinces for 200 rubles. But I know she would rather be not saying that word, on a plantation or let with German master than degrading her soul and moral dignity by binding herself forever to a man whom she does not respect and with whom she has nothing in common. It's gone. I don't know what you're talking about. Blasphemous says, to do, please do LED light command, thanks. I mean, I don't have any of the tools. That's just gonna sit on my to-do list. Actually, I'll probably just delete it. I already have that idea, right? If it ever comes to that. But it's too far off in the future, so I'll just remove it from the to-do list. Nodunner says, that sure is a word. Maybe we should define it. Maybe not. Actually, it won't work. The bot will not interact with. There are some words that the bot will not interact with. I found a regular expressions list on GitHub somewhere. It's just a list of these words, and the bots will not interact with them. Blasphemous says, I'm sure you must have seen this before. Oh wow. I had not seen that before, but that is some cool stuff. Yeah, look at that. Oh man. I want to play this game now. I haven't played that in a long time. Heroes of the Storm, yeah. That's cool. Not that very difficult either. As long as it's easy to have a light and change the light, then that's not that difficult. Nothing in common for her own advantage. And if Mr. Lucian had been of unalloyed gold or one huge diamond, she would never have consented to becoming his legal concubine. Wait, so last time I was thinking he looked at this dude as a gold digger, but now it seems very different. Now he has a very different attitude. Just that she will feel indebted by marrying up? Is that the problem? Some more links. What is this? Joystick. Oh, QMK. Right, the keyboard can be made recognized as a joystick HID device by the operating system. This is enabled by adding joystick enable rules. Joystick support is not currently available on VUSB devices. I don't know what that means. Reading analog. I'm assuming that you take like a six. What is it now?
Maybe he did something right, something everybody else in history done wrong.
What, like eat the food, drink the water, and breathe the air?
Breathe the air. I would assume that's like you take 9 keys. Like you could take a numpad. You don't have a numpad, but right, and you just have them correspond to different movements. We're defining the axis for your joystick. You have to define the definition array. Button count 16. Yeah, part of me was assuming this just from being able to control the mouse like this, right? It's just instead of a mouse, it's a joystick. I was kind of assuming that was the case from that first thing. Blasphemous says there are specific light bulbs you can get for like $12 where you can change the firmware to something open source. Nice. Nodeowner says I can use my keyboard as a controller if I'm understanding this correctly. What a concept. You can send digital inputs or literally wire up a joystick. Oh, right, of course. If you build your own. Oh, no, thank you. You can just put stuff like that on the keyboard. I actually have a keyboard that has one of those on it. I don't think that works anymore, but... Nodeowner says like you can play these stupid games on Steam that have no keyboard and mouse support. Oh man, you don't sound bitter at all, Nodeowner. Don't sound a little bit bitter. No bitterness there. Just buy a house, Nodeowner. Just buy a house. I like playing with a gamepad sometimes, right? Don't you play platformers with do you play platformers with mouse and keyboard, Nodeowner? No gamepad or controller? Nodeowner says you start up the game and you can't even quit the game because it requires a controller to quit. Oh, wow. Nodeowner says I have a controller I use sometimes. Yeah. I mean, you can quit the game, but it's a hassle. I get it. It's a HoriPad for the Switch? Oh. Works on Linux. Nice. I kind of want to switch. It's fine. There are better things. I have other things that I could spend money on, like a 3D printer. Right, why is she consenting then? What's the point of it? What's the answer? It is clear enough. For herself, for her comfort, to save her life, she would not sell herself but for someone else she's doing it. Right. For one she adores, she will sell herself. Oh! Oh! He does not have a problem with the dude being a gold digger. He has a problem with the sister being a gold digger. And the sister being a gold digger for his sake? That's what it all amounts to. For her brother, for her mother, she will sell herself. She will sell herself in such cases. We overcome our moral feeling if necessary. Freedom, peace, conscience, even all are brought into the market. Wow. This dude, eh? This dude. He has no problem with taking the money they borrow. They borrow money, send to him, he drink it all up. He has no problem putting them in debt. But when they are poor and then try to make the money back so they can pay their debts, right? When they're in all that trouble because he has drank up all their money, and they find a pragmatic solution to marry some man, not for love, but for money. Then he gets all pissy about it. Wow. Lasma says, I love the Joy-Cons, but I bought a stupid grip case that is a pain to take off, so the Joy-Cons stay attached. Note Owner says, here's the question though. Could I hook up my keyboard to my Nintendo Switch and play Switch games with my keyboard? I know you can on some games on the PlayStation. The PlayStation has no... Actually, I don't know if you can, but the PlayStation itself does not have keyboard controls. But I know some games implement it themselves. So sometimes it works, but usually no. I don't know about Switch though. Banana Waffle Monkey says, welcome to the 1800s. Oh yeah. Yeah. Some people say life was better back in the day. Just no. Life gets better all the time. Note Owner says, but my keyboard is programmable, right? I could just present it like a controller. Oh, right, yeah. You probably could, Note Runner. I'm assuming Nintendo is super proprietary, though. Oh, Blasphemous says yes. There you go. Oh, Monkey says define proprietary. Protected by trademark or patent or copyright. Yeah, all of them. Fuck all of them. Made or produced or distributed by one having exclusive rights. Rights. The rights. Exclusive rights. Gross. It is gross, is what it is. Exclusive rights. To information. Alright, we've been talking about like having rights to decide what is done with the thing. What is that? That is ownership, right? We've been talking a lot about ownership lately, so I'm gonna take it that route. How do you derive the ownership of an idea? Actually, you could derive it very easily from the definition we went by. If you created a thing, then you own it. If you created an idea, then you would own it. That's the logic. Fuck. That's super easy. So like trademarking, patenting, and copywriting, it's all about owning an idea. Alright. I'm just gonna say no to any abstract thing. I'm gonna say you can only own stuff that like physical things. Yeah, physical things. I don't know why, but that's what I'm gonna say. No, I don't know. Yeah, you can create a physical product. Yeah, it was super easy to derive ownership, so having exclusive rights makes a lot of sense if you have the ownership. You could still open source the information, right? When you sell it, then the source code should be available, right? If you sell the idea, someone else also own that same idea. That's the difference though, right? If I sell my lovely example glass here, it has gone from me to them. So you can own an idea, but you can create an idea. But you cannot really sell it because you don't move the ownership from one to another. When you sell your idea, you still have it. So you didn't sell it, did you? Right? Yeah. Yeah. If you sell your idea, you still have it. It's still in there. So the ownership become pointless because you cannot give it away, you cannot sell it. Someone else can come up with the same idea, create the same idea, and right. Someone else cannot create that exact same glass. Someone else can come up with a very, or maybe even exact the same idea. Yeah, so it falls apart after some scrutiny, I think. Yeah, falls apart after some scrutiny. Lasman says other consoles controllers supposedly work. So that might be a possibility. Nice. Define copyright. A document granting exclusive rights to publish and sell literary or musical or artistic work. And document granting exclusive rights, yeah. Piece of paper said it. They're black and white. That makes me think. Obey. Conform. Buy. Consume. Watch TV. You gotta love this movie, eh? Blasphemous? This seems like right up your alley. I love this movie. I love this movie. It's so great. It's terrible and great and just great. Came here to chew bubblegum and kick some ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Yeah. Alright, a piece of paper said something. Some dude said something on the internet. What were they thinking? Node owner says people attack YouTubers all the time for copying other people's video ideas, when they actually just independently came up with the same idea and happened to release the video at the same time. I mean, even if they didn't, even if, like, does it really matter? Does it really matter if someone had an idea first? I mean, credit where credit is due, like, I don't know about, that's not plagiarism. It's just YouTube, artistic expression? I don't know about that. Plagiarize that? And also, what do we want? Do we want more and better art and entertainment? Or do we want less and more boring art and entertainment? Like a pragmatist point of view, right? If only one YouTuber is allowed to do one type of YouTube video, think of all the lost opportunity of great YouTube videos. Oh? Oh yeah. People attack YouTubers all the time for copying other people's video ideas. Right. For me, fine if they came up with it independently, that's fine and all, but I think the attack, even if there was a copy, if they got inspired by someone else doing it, it does not warrant any type of attack, I would say. Yeah. Blasphemous says, I was watching the Rowdy Roddy Piper documentary earlier, and he talked about making that film. Rowdy Roddy Piper? Oh! They Live? Rowdy Roddy Piper. Terrible with names. Oh yeah, that is Rowdy Roddy Piper. It's a great fucking film. Where was Shakespeare's mentor? Ovid? Even Shakespeare wasn't the most original. Yeah. Of course he wasn't. Art drives more art drives more art. Build upon and innovate on what others have done. Nodunner says that would be as silly as trying to trademark or copyright the idea of reacting. Right? I remember that happened. Oh wow. This music sounds German. I don't know why, it just sounds German. I mean, plagiarism... Actually, I've been thinking about that. I've had this thought that plagiarism is a problem that needs to be solved, but is it really? Is it really just by itself, or is that just a consequence? Is that just a consequence of consumerism? That plagiarism is a problem. Would plagiarism be a problem if not for the monetary value of the thing, right? Just inherently by itself? I mean, the effort spent should be rewarded, I think. So plagiarism is maybe a tiny problem, I suppose. Du hast. Sorry, wrong song. Yeah. Sounds German. A little more electro than Rammstein, I suppose, but... Yeah. Lasma says, why do so many YouTubers talk in an annoying way? Are they copying each other? I don't know. Am I talking in an annoying way? Maybe. Maybe. Blasphemous, you know what I mean. That certain YouTuber voice. I'm not sure I know what you mean. I haven't noticed it, no. I had not thought about any certain YouTuber voice. Note Runner says, the problem of plagiarism in my mind is of misinterpretation. Misrepresentation. There we go. Not misinterpretation. Oh man, I found that funny for some reason. Alright, the problem with plagiarism in my mind is of misrepresentation. You pretend it's original work when it is not. That's dishonesty and I don't appreciate it. Yeah, right. Credit where credit is due. Also, it's... Yeah. Yeah. Original work. Yeah, if something took a lot of work and you pretend you did the work, but you didn't, that's not even plagiarism, right? Isn't that... when you're pretending you're someone else? No, not really that. Fraud. Isn't that fraud? That can still be illegal without having copyright laws. Fraud, plagiarism, I think. I don't know what Mike says. I know. It's the cadence. Tend to elongate certain vowels and then speed up a bit, and it oscillates in pace. I hadn't noticed. I hope I won't start to notice and be frustrated. Like some of the YouTubers I listen to, it's just like, oh no, I can't listen to these anymore. Hope none of the YouTubers I watch do that thing. That would be annoying. Lastman says, sometimes I'll have difficulty finding game review videos where they talk normally. Well, I suppose if all YouTubers talk the same, then that is normal for YouTube, right? I mean, it's not a two-way communication, right? You don't talk to someone, so it's not a conversation, it's more of a presentation. Yeah. Presentation without a direct audience. Presentation just in front of that thing right there. You present into that thing right there. Another says, define plagiarism. Piece of writing that has been copied from someone else and presented as being your own work. Yeah. I don't know what makes this the annoying YouTube voice. Yeah, yep. No Donor says, yes, it is a form of fraud and that's the problem. Not copying. I love copying. Yeah. It's the fraud that's the problem. Now Wafflemonkey tries to define verisimilitude. Oh. Verisimilitude. Veritas? Isn't that truth? Similitude sounds like similar to, yeah. Appearance of truth. The quality of seeming to be true. Yeah. I like that word. Verisimilitude. That's why it bothers me every time I hear that. That is one of those that, like, we need more jobs. That is a thing like the politicians love saying. More jobs. Like that's a good thing. That's a verisimilitude. Oh, also it happens not to be the case. It's not true. We don't need more jobs. We need less jobs. Obviously. Well, if it was obvious, then it wouldn't be a verisimilitude, right? In my mind, it's like, why would you want more jobs? Why? It's boring. I mean, activities, fine. There are many fun activities one can do. Jobs, work. Yeah, I love copying as well. Yeah. I came up with that, like... That has never made sense to me, I don't think. Right, when I started downloading music, when that first happened. Kazaa. No, even before that. Just downloading music and then people saying, oh, you can't do that, that's stealing. And I'm like... Immediately I got to that. Well, if I go to the store, I pick up an apple, and then I generate it, just create another apple in my other hand, put the apple back, go out. Is that stealing? Obviously, it's not stealing. I say obviously, like it's somehow would be obvious when it's not obvious to most people. But to me, it has always been mind-boggling. But I don't often like this because for some reason that sounds good to create all the jobs. He just put a big number in there to create all the jobs if you're a politician. Yeah, it's because it's a verisimilitude. It sounds good to create all the jobs when it's not. Basman says, you wouldn't download a car. Yeah, exactly. No Donor says, I would. Definitely. Oh man. Like when 3D printers first was a thing, I was daydreaming and speculating that I would have like that would be a thing in the future, but it's still far off. That 3D printers would be a bigger thing than it is already. I suppose it's so much... It still needs more development. I mean, it is being done industrially, I suppose, but I'm thinking like actually downloading a car would be something I would live to see, but... No Donor says the quote was actually, you wouldn't steal a car? Oh! As if downloading music was remotely comparable. Yeah. Propaganda bullshit. Yeah. Oh, Roostercock says, it is certainly not stealing. The society only calls it that to manipulate people so they don't do it. If anything, it's a loss of potential profit for the seller. Yeah, that is it. It's a loss of potential profit of the seller. And it's the idea, right? It's probably, I could see it being derived from owning an idea. Right, because you create an idea, you worked to create it, just like you work to create a song, and therefore you own the song. Like, you work to create some, like, my favorite example of the glass here. You make that work, therefore you own the thing. And people just not thinking it through, rather than just calls it that to manipulate people. I don't think so. I don't think society calls it that to manipulate people. I think people are stupid. Wizard's first rule. We're ignorant. We don't know any better. Society don't know any better. Society thinks that they... Right? It's a very... similitude. Right? It's a very similitude. It's ignorance, not malice. Malice? Yeah. It's not an intended manipulation. Well, I'm assuming that you meant manipulate within negative annotations, like it was a bad thing. I just assumed that it's not necessarily what you meant. But yeah, one could say that all the laws, the point of them is to manipulate human behavior. Yeah. Note says, imagine associating sharing files online with the physical violence and the theft of real piracy. Wait, imagine associating sharing files online with the physical violence and the theft of real piracy. Yeah, I wonder how that happened. Actually, piracy came from... that must have come from Sweden, right? The piracy thing? That has to be originating from Sweden. The Pirate Bay? Started out as a meme. Yeah, it must have been the Pirate Bay that started that thing. Blasphemous says, how many lines did you read today? Oh wait, are we... oh, we're past lunch? I'm gonna finish... oh, actually, let me not. I don't know, like 20 lines? Oh man. Note says, computers are designed to copy, and so are humans. How many original thoughts do you think you actually have? Right, original ideas? Thoughts, all of them are original, right? Every single thought is unique. But ideas? I don't think a single one. I mean, I've had some philosophical ideas that someone else didn't... that I didn't hear from someone else. Like, I've figured some stuff out on my own, but that didn't make them original or firsts or whatever, right? Or unique, the ideas that I've had. Someone else has probably had them before. This sounds a little like Sonic music. Roostercock says, I'm so glad GOG is doing well as a store, because it basically proves that piracy of video games was never a real issue. Yeah. I've been trying to vote with my wallet and spend as much, right? I should be better at doing that again. It goes up and down. Like, try to buy stuff on GOG instead of other places. Note is just trying to piss me off now, I think. Roostercock has the right opinion. Of course he does. That's not subjective at all. Well, was that really an opinion? It's evidence for it. Doesn't prove, it's evidence for that piracy was never a real issue. Note says, pirating video games is a shitty experience. Yeah. I've not done it in years. Oh, sorry, I've never done it. There we go. I've never pirated anything. No music, no movies, no TV shows, no games. No articles, no books. None of the things. I haven't done any of it. Blasphemous says, there are a few games I wish I could have pirated instead of bought. Yeah, you can return them, no? But I know Awful Monkey says, definitely never pirated a million textbooks. Yeah.
Take a deep breath, Hardigan. Settle down and think straight.
Not only the same, I definitely don't have Season 4 of The Expanse in my downloads folder. It went downhill, The Expanse. Blasphemous says, I don't buy directly from Steam most of the time. Other stores have Steam keys for cheaper. Yeah, I mean, some of those places are a bit... Right, the last I heard about was G2A. Like, there was a bunch of developers, like indie developers that went out. Please, could you pirate our stuff rather than buying them from G2A? Yeah, grey market. Last one says, I don't do grey market like G2A. Ah. Oh. Right, but there is this thing, right? There's always this thing. We've been talking about that. There are different aspects to life. There is the pure ethical, abstract thing, then there is political behavior, and then it's what's best for you. And I mean, G2A could be good for you as a person, so even if someone uses G2A, I would prefer, like, my mind goes to the blame, going towards the blame game of people using G2A, but I don't want my mind to go to that place. I don't want to use G2A because of my ethics, and I don't want to enforce my ethics onto other people. I would try to convince them not to, but playing the blame game, I don't like when I do that. My mind went there right now, and I noticed it. I don't always notice it, but noticing it is a good practice. The right opinions, eh? Noderunner? The right opinions. Noderunner says, I think so too. It got less realistic and more crazy town fantasy. Crazy town fantasy as the show went on, yeah. It was really sad because especially the first 2 seasons were... Oh man. Especially the first season, it was such a slow burn. Right, it started out just like slow and nothing special, but then after it was like, this is so amazing. It is so amazing. Lastman says, Humble Store, Fanatical, Indie Gala, Win Game Store, Green Man's Gaming, all legit resellers. Nice. Oh, right. Actually, both Indie Gala and Humble Store there is good ethics behind those things, right? For charity, for spreading, I'm guessing that Indie Gala is just spreading indie awareness about indie games, and I like that, the ethics behind that. The others, I don't know anything about, right? They all have their own niche, right? Their own idea. Noderunner says, if you go to Is There Any Deal, you can see the best deals from all the legit stores, not G2A. Oh, nice. I have that Is There Any Deal on my to-do list still. Thinking, like you recommended doing an RSS. I haven't done it yet, but Banana Waffle Monkey says, time to do an extra projectile baron fight. Oh, nice. Good luck, you can do it. What's the G2A? It's a grey market. Yeah. eBay for video game keys. And it seems like a lot of people, like they got their hand on keys from all sorts of games, sold it for cheap, and then, yeah, grey market. Nano Waffle Monkey says, this is the worst map. I'm actually a little bit curious. How long is this? 17. Oh, it's not very long. No thanks. Noderunner says, yeah, they steal, lie, hack their way to getting their keys to sell at the detriment of the developer. Yeah, exactly. detriment to everyone except the seller and perhaps the purchaser. Actually, I would argue that it's the detriment to the purchaser as well. Long-term effects. Long-term effects. Yeah. I don't know about the seller. I don't know about the seller, maybe. Depends on the seller's point of view. Alright. They're all bought at the market. Let my life go, if only my dear ones may be happy. More than that, we become casuists. Nothing. Right. We learn to be Jesuitical, and for a time maybe we can soothe ourselves, or we can persuade ourselves that it is one's duty for a good object. That's just like us. It is as clear as daylight. It is as clear as Rodion Romanovich Raskolnikov is the central figure in business and no one else. Not ours, but that is not always the case. Imagine you bought 100 humble bundles to resell the keys at discount. Yeah. Wait. What is not always the case? Imagine you bought 100 bundles to resell. Yeah. That's grey market stuff, right? Yeah. It's not always the case, but it might be the case. And the argument was not... The argument against G2A when that happened was that G2A... They didn't care, right? They had no checks in place. No, that's a legitimate purchase in my mind. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. You're giving money to charity. If someone wanted to run a business doing that, I think it's fine, yeah. Of course, Humble Bundle has policies preventing this. They don't like it. I have some problems with it. It depends on where you come from. You know, I don't like pointless jobs. Like, if it's similar to scalping, I take some issues with it. Right. What are you doing that benefits society? If it's just pointless hustle to generate money, then I would prefer that job wasn't a thing, right? Yeah, less jobs. I'm all less jobs. Less jobs. Roostercock says, the problem I have with resellers is that I want my purchase to count as a Linux sale, which I'm not sure is the case for resellers. But if it's a Steam key, right? I think it's more interesting, well, I don't know sales, but players. Right? How many players are playing Linux? If you go the Steam route, that statistic, you help that statistic either way, right, Roostercock? Blasphemous says, do you want /deal to search for the game and tell you the lowest price to buy and all the time the lowest price? No, that's not for the bot. Doing deals from is there a deal? That's just for personal use, right? I would make my own wish list, kind of blasphemous. That would not be for the bot, no. I was thinking that we could flood We could flood the chat, and the chat would just be... Oh. Fuck, I didn't read your message properly. That's actually a pretty good idea. But the benefit of that place would be, right, that you have your own list. And then you get messages when there are deals. Rather than, I want to buy a game, what are the deals available? The economical approach would be to first get the list and then wait for the deals, rather than, I want to buy the thing. Well, I suppose that I work like that. That I don't wait for the deals, I just buy the thing, so maybe it would be a good thing for me. Node owner says, I don't think that is scalping. It's a digital good, not a limited supply. Alright, that's probably me misunderstanding scalping. What I'm saying is that if you buy a thing just to sell a thing, then why couldn't the buyer bought it from the place in the first, like the original spot? Right. What is your niche? What is your point of doing the thing? If you have a point in benefiting society in some way, I think that's fine. But if you just purchase a thing to sell that thing, not distribute, not, right? Especially a digital good, right? That's just one website instead of another website. What are you benefiting society? Like as a job, but that's... I would not play the blame game to anyone doing that. I don't see any ethical issue with a person doing that. I just see, like in the grand scale scheme of things, that I don't think it's good for society. That's all. I don't think the person doing it is doing anything terribly. There's no victims. Right? Yeah, there's no victimizing at all. It's just a pointless job, and I don't like pointless jobs. Let's see. Banana Waffle Monkey says, I'm never running extra projectile shrine again. Holy shit. Oh, Baran extra projectiles? Oof. Plasma said, it would be to convince you to buy certain games. Oh, the bot? Yeah, you could convince, oh, look at this. Which I'm easily influenced, like, right, Blasmus? I'm easily influenced anyway, so you don't need that. Well, it would be even easier to, Node owner says, just add buy this game to its to-do list. Yeah, right. Very easily influenced like that. Banana Waffle Mix says, God, there's frenzy charges too. That sounds great. Blasphemous says, so I should make the exclamation point deal for you. I mean, if you want to, right? I would be happy. Like, if you want to do it, that's great. I'm super grateful for it. If you add something and add to the bot, I don't promise I'll keep it forever, right? I'll add it and see how it goes. If I feel that it gets spammy, I'll just increase the cooldown, I suppose, or something like that. But I mean, if you want to build that for the bot, yeah, I'm super grateful. Node owner says, it's not available at that price anymore. They do a service of holding on to these digital goods to sell cheaper at cheaper than retail later. It's good. Oh, right. Yeah. That's a good idea. I like that. I understand why Humble Bundle don't... Wait, why don't Humble Bundle like it? Because it's undermined their business? Well, your thing is about charity, and that was your business. Oh, that's a great thing, Node owner, yeah. They just hold on to them to sell them after, so other people can get the lowered price. Yeah. That's a service. That's a benefit for people, right? People benefit from that. Right. It is good for the original seller, it is good for the middleman, and it's good for the end buyer, yeah? because they get to reclaim some of that discount that they missed out on in the past. Yeah. From our current economical system, that is a good hustle. Yeah, definitely a benefit. Banana Waffle says he shot so fast, it threw off my timings. Fuck this game. Wow. Did you not kill him? Lasma says you need the bot with the most commands on Twitch. Oh man, I was cleaning it up and getting rid of commands because I was thinking I was getting too many of them. So when we do the exclamation point commands command, it will be just like 3 messages of commands. Oh man. Node says that Humble Bundle has gone to shit. Oh? They recently fucked over the charity thing, so you can't give nearly as much. Oh. That's what happens when companies grow, right? Too bad. Lasmus says they announced they're bringing back the sliders. Lasmus says, I don't understand why everyone gets downvoted on our game deals for saying IGN ruined Humble Bundle when it's becoming more apparent. Oh, I heard something about that, yeah. IGN buying Humble Bundle and then... Wait. They changed the percentages, right? There's less charity now. Node says, furthermore, Humble Bundle used to require games in their bundles to be cross-platform. They got rid of that. I remember a lot of the games were brought to Linux back in the day because of Humble Bundle. We're hoping for like an echo of that still working. Alright, what time is it? It's time to rush through this. Alright, I want to finish the paragraph before lunch. Oh yes. She can ensure his happiness, keep him in the university, make him a partner in the office, make his whole future secure. Perhaps he may even be a rich man later on, prosperous, respected, and may even end his life a famous man. But mother, it is all Rodya, precious Rodya, her firstborn. For such a son would not sacrifice such a daughter. Who would not sacrifice such a daughter? Oh, loving, over partial hearts. Why, for this sake, we would not shrink even from Sonia's fate. Sonia Marmeladov, the eternal victim so long as the world lasts. Have you taken the measure of your sacrifice, both of you? Is it right? Can you bear it? Is it any use? Is there any sense in it? And let me tell you, Donia, Sonia's life is not worse than life with Mr. Lucian. He is making a lot of assumptions here. A lot of assumptions. Lasma says, rarely get any decent weekly bundles from Humble Bundle anymore. Mostly repeats. Fanatical has the better bundles now. No Donor says, yep, Fanatical bundles are way better in value. I need to start keeping my eye out for these things, it seems. There can be no more question of love, Mother writes. And what if there can be no respect either? If on the contrary there is aversion, contempt, repulsion, what then? And that is a good point, but you're assuming that is the case, right? If you trust your sister, which you obviously don't, but... right? If she's so happy to go into this fast, then there's probably not aversion, contempt, and repulsion. She wouldn't agree if that were the case. No? So you will have to keep up your appearance too, is that not so? Do you understand what the smartness means? Do you understand what the losing smartness is? It's just the same thing as Sonia's and maybe worse, viler, baser. Because in your case, Donia, it is bargain for luxuries after all. But with Sonia's, it is simply a question of starvation. Fanatical. Pick and mix. Build your own hidden gems bundle. This is the one I bought the other day. Alright, it's a bundle thing. 1 for €1. How does this work? How do they make money from this? Hey, Linux games! $10 games for $5. You get to pick the games you want. Nice. Lasma says, Cider, I'm surprised you don't have interest in playing Hacknet. It is played via in-game terminal and is story-rich. Add it to the to-do list, Blasphemous, if you want to see that. And I prefer to do my terminal work in the terminal. But I mean, story-rich, if it's a story experience, if it's a reading experience, that's... Right, I differentiate between the two. Play some things for the written story, other things for the gameplay. Blasphemous to do. Play Hacknet on Steam. Yeah, look at that. I think that is my favorite command so far. The to-do command. Love that command. You can just add stuff to a to-do list. And well, either I do it or I just throw it out. Note says it's good, but it's not Sectronics good. Yeah, but Sectronics are more about the gameplay, right? It's very focused on gameplay. This seems like the argument was that it's a reading experience more than a hacking experience. Rasmus says, are you starting a Sectronics games tomorrow instead of PoE? I have not bought that game yet, so I have not made up my mind. I need to sleep on it. I mean, I want to play the Sectronics game ASAP. Because, like, within a few weeks, I will take care of the nephew, like, a lot, right? So I want to play that in preparation to play it with him. So probably that tomorrow, even though it's not a deal on the game and I'm buying it full price. That's the way it's gotta go. Because I don't own the game. Last one says, which game? It was the hacking game. Oh fuck, I don't forget. The one Node Runner was talking about the other day. The one that was Linux and programming focused, right? Yeah. Easy level that are programming focused that a 10-year-old could make the first level. Exapunks. Yeah, there we go. Exapunks. Thanks. It has to be paid for. It has to be paid for, Donia, this smartness. And what if it's more than you can bear afterwards? If you regret it, the bitterness, the misery, the curses, the tears hidden from all the world. For you are not Marfa Petrovna. But how does he know that this is where it will end up? Right? It's difficult to know for anyone, right? In the 1800s, where you get stuck with whoever you marry. I suppose that is his point. Don't rush into it. Alright. And how will your mother feel then? Even now she is uneasy, she is worried. But then, when she sees it all clearly. And I, yes indeed, what have you taken me for? I won't have your sacrifice, Donia. I won't have it, mother. It shall not be, so as long as I'm alive. It shall not be, it shall not. I won't accept it. Alright, that's the motivation for him stealing some stuff then, eh? Right, we didn't get very far. We got a little bit. A little bit? Lastman says, oh, I have that. That's on my 1201 games to play list. Nice. Alright. I like this song. But that is it for today. Now it is lunchtime. And I'm sorry I can't give you a straight answer. I'm thinking Exapunks, probably. If not Exapunks, then Bioshock. Yeah. But it depends. Lasmus says it seems to go on sale quite frequently, according to Is There Any Deals? Alright, so maybe, if it is frequently, maybe I should wait. We could pause. I don't like pausing, but I could pause within the middle of a game if it goes on sale and just go into it then. It shows the history. Exapunk's history. Yeah, fairly recently, right? Most of the time. Alright, so. Alright. I know you wanted the MMO game. Actually, that would be a thing. The MMO game, starting that, because that is easier to pause than... I don't think I want to pause from Bioshock. So maybe the MMO game. And then as soon as Exapunk comes on sale, we do the Exapunks thing. I think that's the plan. Node owner says sign into Steam after stream. Sure, I can do that. I need to add this to the wish list. I didn't add this to this wish list anyway. Right. Average total? Yeah, that's fine. I can spend that. No issue. Alright. But that is it. So we do have a plan. I have a plan. Oh man. Sicken. Oh, that's the plan thing. That's Swedish culture. That's an inside joke that makes sense to me and no one else. Great stuff. Alright, so thanks for hanging out today, and yeah, see you next time. Cheers.